This goes out to every single person that thinks I'm a rusty, moronic, black-hearted bastard. This goes out to everybody that watches my videos and actually thinks I'm trying to force my opinions down your throat. This goes out to those who have had the luck and pleasure of never having to suffer a real tragedy in your life. To the people that haven't suffered a thing and will go on every platitude possible to make it seem like they have, just to make one infantile point that I suck for some illegitimate reason. This goes out to the literal thousands of motherfuckers on this website that will never understand why I do what I do, that don't understand why I do what I do and are going to judge me as something inhuman and something that doesn't deserve to live. As much as I hate you for the things that you say, I still wish I was you nonetheless. From Onision to his most militant followers, to many of the radical fundamentalists on this website, I still wish I was you. Why? You're all so much luckier than you can ever imagine, and that's also why I do what I do. So blindly will fundamentalists throw out the idea that all goths should be burned at the stake because of the clothing that we wear, chains that we wear. Maybe I wear these pair of goggles that don't seem like I have a purpose, but I think they're cool, and yet that makes me the spawn of Satan. So blindly will these religious fucknuts actually go out and try to attack and kill gay people because of their orientation. Saying horrible things like they should all die of AIDS because they're different than everybody else. That all things diverging from their own worldview should be cast into a lake of eternal fire as opposed to accepting them into society and trying to make the world a better fucking place for the rest of us. So blindly will rabid vegetarians take something as simple as a fucking dietary choice and stretch it to a limit that it was never meant to go to. So blindly will they ignore the rights and privileges of their own species and forsake those for something as minuscule as a mangy rat. So conceited some of these people are that they'll go to the extremes of killing members of their own species to get their point across and see no moralistic issue with this. But in the end, they're still luckier than me. They've still got their closest loved ones. They've still got their children. They've still got their mothers and fathers. They've still got their brothers and sisters. But they don't give a fuck about anybody outside of their own families. If you're different than them, you're scum. None of these walking piles of human misery have ever had to endure the deaths of their mother, their best friend, their own sister, their first almost born son, and then many suicide attempts on top of that. Why such particular examples? Because those are all things in my life that I've had to endure. I've lost my mom, my sister, my son. Got left is my fiance and my daughter. What intrigues me about people like Onisan is the conceit that people like him have to live in here and not out here. Until the day that I die, I will never understand what bitter contempt must be going through your fucking heart towards the human race. When Onision sits there and starts masturbating his ego, and forgetting that he too is an animal, we're mammals, by default we're animals as well, and supports the most heinous of animal rights groups that have been convicted of murders against human beings before, people like the Westboro Baptist Church, Life in Heaven Forever, you're on YouTube. And so many other ridiculously heartless motherfuckers get on their jive-ass platitudes and start spouting some of the most insane things that I've ever heard. They all forget their own mortality and their own morality. They forget to look inward and see themselves or their families in the same positions they would rather see everybody else who disagrees with them in. They never look inward and see themselves in those positions because in their own minds they're infallible. They get their point across to people, and in their mind it's the right point. but it's not.